Young Turks now has audio, the TYT Audio Network, podcasts of some of your favorite shows and new shows, including one with Nina Turner, former Ohio State Senator. She's going to do We the People with Nina Turner, talking about equality and justice and seeing that through the eyes of regular Americans who are affected by politics and policy. Everybody check it out at tyt.com/audio.
The Inspector General of the DOJ has just released a 500-page document pertaining to an investigation they did into James Comey's handling of Hillary Clinton, the Hillary Clinton investigation back in 2016. And so the whole point of this investigation was to figure out whether or not there was a political bias that played a role in Comey's decision making, and also to look into FBI, people working in the FBI who might have done something against Donald Trump because of their political beliefs about Donald Trump. There were a lot of other issues that were focused on, but I want to highlight the relevant parts that we know about so far. Now, first, they had an issue with the fact that Bill Clinton met with the former Attorney General Loretta Lynch on the tarmac while this investigation was taking place. They thought that that was problematic. However, the investigation overall had no political bias. That was what this investigation found. Also, they had an issue with Comey's decision to publicly announced the reopening of the investigation into Hillary Clinton because there was new information or new evidence. The reason why they had a problem with him publicly announcing it is because he was actually supposed to go to the Department of Justice before announcing it publicly, and he did not do that. But again, this report found that he had no political bias in his decision making. So let's hear from Michael Horowitz. Here is a statement from this investigation. While we did not find that these decisions were the result of political bias on Comey's part, we nevertheless concluded that by departing so clearly and dramatically from FBI and department norms, the decisions negatively impacted the perception of the FBI and the department as fair administrators of justice.
I want to be super clear here. They're not saying that Comey did not have a political bias against Trump. First of all, they're saying that he didn't have a political bias at all, okay? But this is about whether he had a political bias against Hillary Clinton.
Right.
Because he did things that hurt Hillary Clinton that he should not have done. It's not the job of the head of the FBI to decide whether you're going to prosecute or not. It's their job to collect the information and hand it to the Attorney General. And it's not their job right before an election to say, I reopen an investigation. And those are the things the Inspector General said you did wrong. Those were, if anything, biased against Hillary Clinton, not against Donald Trump. You'll get confused because Republicans purposely muck up the issue by going, you see that, Comey did things he shouldn't have done, and it makes it sound like it's against Trump. No, it was against Hillary Clinton.
You know, it's kind of incredible, though, because Comey found himself in a situation where he essentially, the FBI had to investigate both candidates. And not necessarily both candidates. With Hillary Clinton, yes, you're investigating her use of a private email server and possible classified information in that server, right? Or through that private email. But with Donald Trump, there was also an investigation, not into him specifically, but into possible Russian interference in his campaign, because members of his campaign were openly talking about how they were communicating with Russians. So it was interesting that the FBI did not make that public. They didn't make that information public. But in the case of Hillary Clinton and in the case of reopening the investigation, that was made very public.
So at this point, guys like Jeff Sessions, the Attorney General, comes out and goes, you see, we were right to fire Comey because of all the terrible things he did to Hillary Clinton. Come on. Who believes that? You're a Trump supporter? You think that Trump fired James Comey because he was too unfair to Hillary Clinton?
Yeah, they'll believe anything.
I mean, you were chanting lock her up, right? But now they're saying Comey was too tough on Hillary Clinton, and Sessions says, see, the Inspector General report shows it, and that's why we fired him. You have another problem, which is that Donald Trump on national television said he didn't fire him for that he fired him because of the Russia investigation. Oops. Then, just recently, one of his lawyers told him, hey, idiot of idiots, you never should have said that. You basically admitted obstruction of justice on national TV. He's like, no problem, I got this. I'll deny it. I'll strongly deny it. So he puts out a tweet saying, oh, no, I fired him because he was bad to Hillary Clinton. Preposterous. Who in their right mind would believe that?
So another portion of this report that I wanted to read to you and just really emphasize it. Michael Horowitz writes, we did not find documentary or testimonial evidence that improper considerations, including political bias, directly affected the specific investigative actions we reviewed. So again, this is in response to Comey's decision to reopen the investigation into Hillary Clinton. This is not about the investigation into Trump and Russian meddling.
So a couple more things. First, let me just be clear. I think the Inspector General did a great job here. There's a good reason to have Inspector Generals of all these departments, especially the FBI, to make sure that they're doing the right thing. So I agree with the reports that Comey was wrong in how he handled the Hillary Clinton situation. I agree with them that Loretta Lynch was wrong in meeting Bill Clinton privately in the middle of investigating Hillary Clinton.
Not so private, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, in private in that that there was no one else in the plane.
Oh, okay.
Right,
yeah.
but it became very public, obviously. You know, they have this claim, Lynch and Bill Clinton do, that, oh, our planes happen to be right next to each other. Oh, gee, what could we do? Even if you believe that, say, hey, Mr. President, let's meet on the tarmac with a lot of other people around, because it's not a good idea to go into private when I'm investigating your wife. That's a really bad idea, okay? So Inspector General is right to call out Loretta Lynch for that, Bill Clinton for that. See, they're doing their job. They're upholding the law. On the substance of the Clinton email server, she never should have done that as well. I said it from day one. I've said it all the way through. But by the way, Ivanka Trump, Donald Trump Jr. used private emails when they were in the Trump White House. Trump refuses to listen to security officials on which phone he should use because he thinks it's too confusing to get a new phone, so his line might be unsecured as he tweets and as he talks. And now a new report just came out that James Comey might have been using private email accounts while doing official FBI business. So why don't we lock them all up? Because if we're gonna make a federal case about Hillary, which I think maybe we should, then let's make a federal case about all of them.
So just real quickly, that was also addressed, Comey's use of a private email server, and it appears, based on this investigation, that they did not find any classified information in those emails. So I just want to be clear about that.
Okay, and then finally, you got Stork and Page. So these are two people in the FBI. They don't like Trump, but if you read all their texts, they also don't like Hillary Clinton. They also don't like Bernie Sanders. But they definitely don't like Trump. No question about it. Nobody's hiding the ball there. The Inspector General recognizes that. Did they influence the investigation? No. In fact, as soon as the Inspector General, long time ago, found out any text that they were sending to each other that seemed to say they didn't want Trump to win the election, and they didn't, okay? Mueller immediately removed Stork from the investigation, and Page has already left the FBI. So he did the exact right thing immediately. So, and the Inspector General says it has not affected the investigation. So now Republicans, they look at it and go, what? What?
They somehow will use this to their advantage, and it'll at least work with their base. But whether or not it'll actually harm Mueller's investigation, I'm not sure. I don't know.
Look, nothing really matters, because for the MAGA guys, they'll go, I knew Comey was wrong, emulating their dear leader. I knew Comey was wrong. Inspector General says he was wrong. He was wrong against Hillary. Whatever. Okay. But the only thing that matters is if Mueller has significant law breaking on Donald Trump, will Republicans impeach or will they not impeach?
No.
That's the only thing that matters, because the rest of it is the MAGA guys are going to say what they're going to say. They're and Democrats are going to say what they're going to say, and all of us that I think are reasonable people will look at it and go, well, that's true against the Clintons. This is true against Trump, etc. But at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is he in office or is he not? If they find significant law breaking, will the Republicans act? So will they look at this and go, oh, well, the Department of Justice Inspector General said this? Or will they look at it and go, Mark Sanford just lost his primary?
That's exactly what I was going to bring up. They're not going to impeach him. They are going to look out for their best interests. And right now, going after Trump, at least in some parts of the country as a Republican, is political suicide.
It is. So that Mark Sanford election was the worst thing that could have happened in the country. Mark Sanford is a deeply conservative. They covered it on the show yesterday. He's got a 100% rating from the Club for Growth, which is the top conservative group.
That works on hair growth? Just kidding. Club for Growth is a terrible name, sorry.
Okay, by the way, the growth is in rich people's pockets, okay? That's what it refers to. Anyway, Mark Sanford, deeply, deeply conservative, but just lightly criticized Trump a couple of times, gone. His affairs when he was governor and his lying and his using of taxpayer money to go sleep with his mistress, they didn't care about that in South Carolina. Totally fine, right? You dared to criticize Trump a couple of times, gone. An incumbent lost his seat. That sent a chill across all Republicans. So the Inspector General can say whatever he wants. At the end of the day, all they're gonna think is remember Sanford. 2 easy ways to follow the Young Turks. One is hit the subscribe button down below, then you're a TYT subscriber. And second is ring the bell. And when you do that on YouTube, you're notified of our videos.